Greetings, everybody. I'm Joe. So, this is my first sort of vlog, I suppose, on this channel. It's not always about popcorn, it's gonna be about different stuff. Today, different stuff it is. So, a cup of tea, we have a little story time. What I thought I would do is just, well, I've always thought I've lived a boring life. And I feel like I'm quite a boring person, but when I tell people, they kind of go, no, you've done so much and you're not really all that boring. But that is just how I see myself, I suppose. So we're going to do that. Also, please do enjoy the lovely drawings and alphabet chart. You know, practice ABCs and colours and fruits if you want. While we're doing this is my teaching background when I teach online. I say when because they are very infrequent at the moment, so it is moving if and when, not a definite thing. Anyway, moving on. So a little bit about me, I suppose, is part of the story. University. I went to university in Birmingham in the UK. I spent most of my summers doing like Camp America sort of things, like working in America. That was good fun. I spent 1 year living in France as part of my university degree. Living in Montpellier, which is a really lovely city, by the way, really, really nice. I went back to university for my final year and finished that up. When that was done, I went all the way over to Japan to teach English, and I lived there for just shy of 3 years. So that's pretty much it, really. Then I left Japan, went back to England for 1 year, got a job I really didn't like, I learned to drive, always a handy tool when abroad. Then I went to New Zealand. Before I went to New Zealand, I was like in England, I was weighing up Canada or New Zealand. Canada would have been wicked, you know, just read some sick powder and all that, but ultimately their visa process is a pain in the ass. There's a lot of waiting. I waited like 7 months. I didn't hear anything back. So I applied to New Zealand. That was going crazy, just staying in England with nothing going on. So I applied to New Zealand, got back for like that day actually. I applied, was permissions, and just said because I've lived in Japan for more than 3 months or something, I had to go and get a chest x-ray to check I didn't have tuberculosis. So I did that. Boom, biff, buff, buff. I was off to New Zealand. Yay! So I went to New Zealand for a year. I lived in Auckland on North Island, which was cool. Then I based myself there and did travelling. Not as much as I wanted because, you know, life always finds a way to stop that from happening. But I did do a few trips, not only just around Auckland itself, but I mean, even then, within an hour from Auckland, you know, you can get the Waitakere Ranges and you've got the West Coast beaches, or even go up north to Omaha Beach, which is really nice, or the Tawharanui National Park. It's really nice ones, really, really close actually to Auckland. Just got out the car. Which I did, so it was okay. I did do a few trips. I went to Hobbiton, massive Lord of the Rings nerd, so that was great. Then I also went on like a little camping weekend trip after work one weekend all the way up north. It was a 5-hour drive. This really remote peninsula, no lights, no electricity. It was crazy, just like the stars you could see. It was insane. Then I went to Ruapehu, which is near where Mount Doom is, the Tongariro crossing. And then I went there snowboarding, which was probably the worst conditions I've ever had in my life. But still, I love snowboarding, I love the snow, I've been outdoors, so it was great. And what else happened? Oh, I didn't make it to the South Island, unfortunately. I really wanted to. I weighed it up before I left New Zealand, but ultimately I chose not to. Simply because that was really sort of funds back for when I moved to Australia, which is where I am now. And I'd been in that position before where I hadn't had enough money to really enjoy my time in a new country without being super frugal. So I didn't want to go down that path again, so I chose not to go to the South Island, which is crazy expensive. The plan was, you know, I could earn money in Australia and then just go because it's really, really close. And then coronavirus hit. So yes, that's not happening. Australia, spent a couple of weeks in Melbourne when I arrived. Then I went to do some farm work in rural Victoria, northwest Victoria, kind of like borderline between, it was like maybe a 10-minute drive from New South Wales border. And if you drove, maybe 3 or 4 hours drive from Adelaide, I think. That's another topic completely. Farm work in Australia, that's completely other subject actually. So it's teaching and visas and all sorts of rubbish I'm talking about. Anyway, then I left because my parents were coming. From New Year, they messed me around. I was staying in a working hostel idea is they provide you with jobs to get days done that you need to get visas and stuff. So my parents were always coming over. My dad was going to go watch the Melbourne Grand Prix. So I was always going to be leaving at some point. So I decided to leave a little bit earlier because they just messed me around for like 2 months with no consistent work. I was maybe working 2 days 1 week, then no work for 2 weeks. And it was just burning through my savings. So I went back to Melbourne. Expecting maybe odd job here and there. If not, the rent was pretty much identical to what I was paying up in the middle of nowhere. So at least to be unemployed. Ended up getting a job though. It was a van job, really weird. Posted out on Gumtree, kind of like Craigslist, if none of you are aware what that is. Some guy was like, yeah, we need someone to deliver stuff for us. And like, that's weird. Don't need like door or window frames. Very weird still, but it is what it is. I had to drive from Melbourne to a couple of drops around Sydney and a couple of hours south of Sydney. From Sydney, I had to drop one off somewhere near Byron Bay. If you don't know Australia, the drive from direct Melbourne to Sydney is about 9 hours. Sydney to Brisbane is 10 hours. Byron Bay is about 8 or 9, I think. It was a long trip. That was cool. My parents came, drove around a little bit, took them on the Great Ocean Road and see some wildlife. We saw wallabies and koalas wallabies, kangaroos and koalas all out in the wild, which is really cool. They were happy with that. Unfortunately, because of Corona, things started getting a bit iffy there. When they left from Sydney, I came up to Brisbane, where I was stuck. I got here maybe like a day before everything got shut. I've try and get by since then. That's me, story of my life. I guess I've done a fair bit, but it doesn't really feel like exciting because I don't really do much. I just kind of base myself in the place and try to live as opposed to go there for the sake of traveling around and seeing stuff. But there we go. That's my life. I'm going to try and find a lesson to teach. All right. Peace.